So, you're thinking about Mayo College for the 2025-26 academic year? Well, you've come to the right place. Think of this as your personal roadmap. We're going to break down everything you need to know, from the big questions to the nitty-gritty details, to help you navigate this whole admissions process. Let's dive right in.
You know, beyond all the history and the prestige, there's always that one fundamental question that every single family asks first. What is this really going to cost? We're about to break that number down piece by piece so there are no surprises. We've laid out this journey in 5 simple sections. First, we'll get a quick overview of the college itself. Then, we'll get into the total costs. After that, we'll look at the academic paths you can choose. We'll give you a super handy parents planning checklist, and we'll wrap up with some tips to make the whole admission process as smooth as possible. All right, first things first, let's get on the same page about what Mayo College is all about. So, in a nutshell, Mayo College is an all-boys boarding school located in Ajmer, Rajasthan, and it covers a pretty wide age range, taking in students from Class 4 all the way up through Class 12.
Okay, and before we dive any deeper, I have to give you one really vital piece of advice. While guides like this are great for getting an overview, the school's official website has to be your absolute single source of truth. Things like fees, deadlines, even curriculum details, they can change. So please always verify everything directly from the source.
Now for the part I know you've been waiting for, the financial breakdown for the 2025-26 session. Getting a really clear picture of this up front is honestly the key to planning everything else effectively. So let's start with the big headline number. As of April 1st, 2025, the annual school fee is 10,53,000 rupees. Now, that's a significant figure, for sure. But, and this is a big but, it's not the full story for the first year. Let's see what else you need to factor in. And here is where we see that full first-year investment. You see, when you start adding in all the one-time costs, like that hefty but refundable 5.26 lakh caution money and the 2.5 lakh admission fee, plus a few others, the initial amount you need is actually closer to 20 lakhs. This table lays it all out so you can see exactly how it adds up. So, how do you turn this table into a real-world budget? Simple. First, add up all those one-time fees to get your actual first-year cost. Second, make sure you plan for a buffer. That 80,000 rupee impress money is meant for incidentals, but you know how it is. Extra activities or trips could push you over. And finally, here's that key reminder again. Always double-check these exact figures on the official school fees circular before you make any payments. Okay, with the finances clear, we've arrived at the next major decision point. Mayo College gives you 2 very different academic pathways to choose from, the Indian CBSE board or the international Cambridge curriculum. Let's put them side by side. You can really think of this as a fork in the road, and it's a key choice that depends on your child's learning style and future goals. The CBSE track, that's structured for India's comprehensive national curriculum. It's perfect for students who are aiming for those competitive domestic exams and Indian universities. On the other hand, the Cambridge track is built for international university admissions. It's all about taking deep dives into specific subjects through their AS and A levels. Really? This choice all comes down to your child's long-term academic ambitions. Let's zoom in on the CBSE track for a moment. In classes 9 and 10, it's all about building a really strong, broad foundation with core subjects and languages. Then, for 11 and 12, students get to specialize in either humanities, science, or commerce. What I think is pretty cool here is the inclusion of modern electives like entrepreneurship and AI. It really shows a curriculum that's keeping up with future career paths. Now, the Cambridge track is all about the globally recognized AS and A levels, offering subjects from business and economics to art and design. But, and listen up because this is really crucial, look at that note at the bottom. The school curates the final subject combinations that are available each year. This means you absolutely have to check directly with the admissions office to see which specific subjects will be on offer for your child's entry year. This isn't just a small detail, it's a critical step to make sure the path you're planning is actually available. Okay, we've covered the big decisions. Now it's time for action. Let's walk through your step-by-step application guide.
Here's your 4-step plan to keep things simple. Number 1, finalize that first-year budget. 2, make the call between CBSE and Cambridge based on those future goals. 3, start gathering your documents. You'll need birth certificates, report cards, IDs, all that good stuff. And 4, probably the most important step of all, keep checking the official website for deadlines because believe me, they can and sometimes do change.
And finally, let's talk about preparing your child. For any selective school, the goal of preparation should always be about building confidence, not creating stress. Here's the right way to think about it.
This quote just nails the philosophy perfectly. Smooth the transition without overwhelming students. The focus should always be on making them feel ready and familiar with the process, not on high-pressure cramming.
Now, for any families who want a little extra support, there are optional programs out there. They can help build readiness through things like mock tests and interview grooming. The real key, though, is to make sure that any program you're considering is specifically aligned with Mayo's own timelines and their particular admission expectations.
And there you have it. From that initial financial breakdown and the big academic choices, all the way to a clear planning checklist and some preparation tips, you now have a complete roadmap to approach the Mayo College admissions process with confidence. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. After all the spreadsheets, the application forms, the planning, when you strip it all away, what is the one single thing, whether it's a skill, a value, or a new perspective, that you truly hope your child gains from an education like this?